Hobby is something that if you do it, you will feel happy and relaxed. An activity where time will seem to pass quickly when you do that activity. Everyone must have their own hobby, but there are some people who don't know that is their hobby. I really like reading novels and read them on Twitter, Wattpad, and other reading apps. I like reading the news because it can make me understand more about something that is currently being discussed. In addition, reading can also increase our knowledge. Of all kinds of reading, I like stories the most can be love stories, mysteries, thrillers, comedy, or fantasy. I like reading novels which usually tell about the romance of a pair of humans, and I also read several books that tell about a person's true story. I call several novels from authors that I like novels from Kanva Narendra, Azaman, Craig Alvaska, Crush, etc. My reading makes my imagination play in the story, and definitely after reading a book, my imagination will still play imagining what the next story of the story will be, but my own version, and it is very fun. I've had a hobby of reading since I started reading, but reading the teen novels starts when I entered elementary school. However, when I entered the 8th grade of junior high school, my time began to decrease to read novels because of the many assignments. Besides that, the budget for buying novels was reduced because it was deferred for assessment costs. And that's when I found an alternative means to still be able to enjoy my hobby reading. At the time, I found the name fanfiction on one Twitter. Fanfiction or one can be called fanfiction or fanfic. FF or fic is a written work of the imagination of the writer who is a fandom who writes his imagination about the idol, or both fiction and non-fiction, based on a based on a background such as reality or not. Well, I happen to be a K-pop person or a themes for Korean words, so this fanfiction is very interesting for me because there are so many fanfiction that tell about K-pop idols. The advantage I get from reading this fanfiction, which is where I can imagine about my idol. Save the cost of buying novels, also me to learn Korean a little bit. Increase my knowledge. Besides that, I can read fanfiction through my cell phone, so when I read at night, I don't need the light that has to be when I read a novel. It won't disturb the people around me. Some of the benefits of reading books that we can get besides making the brain smarter, among them: 1. Can stimulate mental. The brain is one of the organs of the body that requires exercise to stay strong and healthy like any other organs. By reading books, you can keep your brain activity so that it can perform its function properly and correctly. Several studies have shown that reading books can stimulate the mind and even prevent Alzheimer's disease and dementia. 2. Can reduce stress. After a day of doing a daily routine, not infrequently, it can trigger stress. By doing reading activities that can be done for a few minutes can help suppress the development of stress hormones such as cortisol. Reading can make the mind more relaxed so that it can help reduce stress levels by up to 67. Apart from relaxation, reading books can bring great inner peace and tranquility. Reading can lower blood pressure and has been shown to help people with certain mood disorders and mental illness. This is benefits of reading books that many people ignore. Many people think that reading books actually makes the brain work and cause stress, even though the benefits of reading books are reduce stress. 3. Adding insights and knowledge. By reading books, we can fill our heads with new information that we didn't know until now, which will most likely be useful to us in the future. The more knowledge we have, the more prepared we will to be face life challenges, both now and in the future. In addition, knowledge is a very valuable thing that will never be lost even if we lose other things in this world, such as possessions, objects, and others. The stories and ideas contained in a book we read can help open our minds to know the other world better, to gain greater understanding than before.